Good evening. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Cunningham Township Board for Monday, February 13th, 2023. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu.
Here.
Mr. Evans.
Here.
Ms. Hersey.
Here.
Ms. Colasetti.
Here.
Ms. Bishop. Ms. Wilkin.
Here.
Mr. Quisenberry.
Here.
Mayor Marlin.
Here.
Ms. Chenoweth. Mr. Williams.
Here.
Next item is approval of minutes from the January 9th, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mary Alice, seconded by Sharice. Any substantial corrections? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Any additions to the agenda? Next item is committee to verify bills for the town fund and the general assistance fund. Is Nicole? Nicole, are you on?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought Jasmine was going to do that part. So let me pull that up. Sorry. We had total expenses of $92,910 in the town fund, $100,414,000 in the general assistance fund, and $193,324 total.
Okay. Any questions for Nicole? Mary Alice.
Hi, Nicole. Please let me know if you can't hear me. And perhaps Wayne is a better person to answer this question. Looking at the dues and subscriptions for the IAAO membership, and I was wondering how the determination was made for who we pay for and who we don't pay for.
I will let Wayne answer that one.
Wayne, turn your microphone on, please.
We pay for all of the employees for the memberships.
Even the part-time people?
Yep.
Is
The IAAA membership includes access to research library and other resources that help us do the job.
all right, because I know that at least one of these people works for another organization that does very similar things. So can you describe to me, it says there's membership dues for all of these individuals, and then there's 5 membership fees, 2 years. What's the difference between those? I don't know what.
State and regular, state and national.
State and national. Okay, all right, and this is a 1 year, or is it more than just 1 year?
Just 1 year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I did have one question, and maybe it's just a typo. There was a reimbursement on here that looked like it was for March of 2021.
Can you let me know which
Let's see,
account that's in?
it's under training, I believe. Rolling through, trying to find it. Yeah, no, sorry, it's under admin services, Illinois property, or spring conference and exam for March 22nd, 2021. That would be page number 10.
So when Wayne, I believe, was trying to kind of close out some items, he reached out to them to find out if we had any open invoices, and it turned out we had all kinds of open invoices that they had never sent us. So that was just catching up on a couple of those.
Okay, so that's an invoice that we paid? Not,
Yeah, we
not
paid
a
it.
reimbursement?
does it say reimbursement?
It doesn't.
It says Illinois Profit
No,
Investment
I just wanted to
Institute,
clarify.
correct?
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Yes, you're welcome.
Further questions? Is there a motion to approve the town fund and general assistance fund?
I move to approve the town fund and the general assistance fund.
I'll second.
Moved by Sharice, seconded by James. Further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Hersey,
Yes.
Ms. Colacetti,
Yes.
Wilkin,
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry.
Yes.
That motion passes. Next item, reports of officers, and we have the audit presentation. Is that Jasmine?
Yeah, that'll be me. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the supervisor's memo before we jump into the audit report. So just a couple of things to highlight in the supervisor's memo. Our general assistance numbers, they're around the same, they're maintaining around the same as last month. And currently, we are undergoing, under the education and employment track, we are undergoing a program evaluation for that right now. And we hope to have some reports to share later in the year, hopefully in March or April. Oh, yes. Is that better? Okay. And then just in general with general assistance, you'll also notice that we are increasing our partnerships with mental health and healthcare providers. We've seen more connections with the Rosecrans Living Room, with DRS, and with, that's Department of Rehabilitation Services, and then Champaign County Healthcare Consumers for various reasons. So solidifying those partnerships is important to us. To jump over to, what was the next thing? Our street outreach numbers. I did want to highlight something there. So we know that Strides Shelter, the new 24/7 low barrier community shelter in Champaign County, opened in December of 2022. Regardless of that, we did see a slight increase. We saw 2 additional street outreach individuals. So despite the shelter being open, we are still serving a high number of street outreach folks. We are, in terms of that street outreach, we are planning on attending, Salvation Army is having monthly meetings with their street outreach program. And so we are planning to start attending those meetings. And we also help to coordinate in the future, once Strides has their street outreach program up and running, we'll help to coordinate with their program as well. Under our emergency housings, particularly with the hotel track, that's right under the street outreach there. So this last month, we got the opportunity to meet with CU at Home and Stride Shelter, and we were able to coordinate a referral process and be able to coordinate a little bit more of our emergency housing services for individuals in the community. And so finally, we have a referral process between our 3 entities, so that we're able to move around folks that may be medically fragile or higher risk in a congregate setting. So we're excited that that's in place now. Our rapid rehousing, which is immediately under that emergency housing hotel, as you can see, we are serving 4 families, and that is at capacity for this fiscal year under those rapid rehousing funds that were ESG. So as you can see, 1 family is successfully about to exit the program. 1 household just moved into housing before the holidays. That 3rd household actually gets to move into housing in 2 days, and that final household is still actively looking for housing. So good movement on that program. Let's see. And something to highlight with our property track, so with the California properties, we currently don't have any families on our wait list, no literally homeless families that we've been made aware of in the last week. We have gotten referrals, but they've been McKinney-Vento, so we've been able to track them to different resources and services. And then just the final couple points here. So at this time, we are still, our partner Cricket Wireless is still experiencing phone shortages for the care benefit package. So we are working and trying to find a different cell phone provider. We do have SafeLink up and scheduled to be at our township events, so we do at least have that happening. But in terms of a local partner, we are still searching for one. And then finally, to highlight our Bucket Brigade food delivery system, that's still up and running. We did change around some partnerships, so we are still partnering with Channing Murray Foundation. We have a new partnership with United Way over the last few months, and then the Hope Center is a new organization we're working with. And this is just to help continue getting the food necessities into the hands of those households. Nicole, did you have anything else to share or add?
I do not.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, Mary Alice.
Thanks for providing that summary. I was wondering, you had said that the number of people who are street homeless was up to 2. Do you have any insight into those 37 or 35 households or individuals who are on the street in terms of where they turned away or with Strides?
Yeah, so to be clear, so our street outreach services are out during the business days, during Cunningham Township business hours. So this is not to say that there's this many homeless folks out on the street unsheltered, but during our business hours, this is the amount of individuals that our street outreach team communicates with on a weekly basis and provides services to on a weekly basis. Some of them are being served by Strides, others by CU at Home, and others by other partners. However, during the day, they're still out and about in the community.
Okay, so it's not that they don't have someplace to sleep in the evening, it's that they are not in a house during the
Correct,
day.
and yeah, and then there are going to be some folks, there are some folks that are actively unsheltered, and we continue to work with those folks, and there's varying reasons why they aren't or won't stay at a shelter.
And then for the families or the individuals that are staying at the hotel, are those families that don't have kids in Urbana schools, or do you know anything about any of the demographics of those people?
Yeah, so at this time, folks in our hotel, all 8 households we have in our hotel at this time are either single individuals or partners with no children or partner with no children. Majority are, actually all of them right now are medically fragile folks, so folks that really will struggle in a congregate setting, or the shelter or congregate setting is not able to accommodate to their medical fragility. Since we opened up our California properties, we haven't had to place, I think, all but 2 families in a hotel for a very short amount of time until there was an opening in California. So for the majority, it's been couples or individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Sharice?
I guess what I need to understand is the definition of medically fragile.
Yeah, so we do tend to use it a little loosely. It kind of depends on the need of the folks. So we can be talking, increased mental health needs. We can be talking increased physical needs. We can be talking a physical disability where they need, to have an accessible shower for a roll-in wheelchair. Varying degrees of disabilities, medical fragilities.
Other questions? Okay, I guess we can move on to the audit.
Do we have the auditors?
McCade, are you on?
Yep. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. So first I want to say thank you to the board for allowing us to present the financials and also allowing us to present over the phone. Also like to say thank you to Danielle and Nicole for all their hard work and helping us complete the audit. We understand that doing an audit is not part of their full-time job, so it's extra work on top of their day-to-day tasks. So just want to say thank you to both of them for all the help. So to begin, we will be looking through the annual financial report. It is the booklet that hopefully should be in front of everybody or being presented to the board. So to begin, we will go to page number 1. It is titled Independent Auditor's Report. I'll just give everybody a few seconds to get there. Okay, so what this page is stating is that from our audit that was performed for the fiscal year, we released a modified cash basis opinion, which is essentially stating that we found that the financials were free from material misstatement and therefore provided a modified cash basis opinion. So we can move on to page number 4. It is after the page titled Management's Discussion and Analysis. I'll give a few seconds for everybody to get there.
Was the board sent the audit? Did anyone receive a copy of the audit?
I have this.
It was sent out in the board packet via email. Jasmine, do you have it up on the screen?
We have
Yeah, it's up
some
on the
summary
screen.
letters, but not the entire booklet. Is that what you sent?
Well, it's in the packet that was emailed. So it's like 91 pages total. It starts right after the supervisor's report.
Did
So
anyone
it starts
receive
on
that?
page 24 of the public packet.
Board members did not receive the actual audit report, is what I'm hearing.
They,
It's in there?
okay. Danielle said they did, and my apologies. Can they see it online, or would you like me to forward this?
Okay, never mind, sorry. We have it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, awesome. We are on, so page, just to circle up, page number 1 is where you'll find the modified cash basis opinion, stating that everything is, from our audit, we found that the financial statements are free from material misstatement. And now moving on to page number 4, it'll be titled in the top left corner, Management's Discussion and Analysis. And then it'll have financial highlights on that page. I'll give a few seconds. So what these next few pages pretty much provide is a financial highlight of what the township saw during the fiscal year. It provides a narrative to the numbers to kind of help explain why certain items increased or decreased from prior year to current year. So moving on, we can go to page number 13. This page will be titled in the top left corner, Balance Sheet, Governmental Funds, Modified Cash Basis. And what this balance sheet pretty much is providing is the assets, liabilities, and fund balance for the township as of 6/30/2022. One item to note is that the township has a strong, almost evenly split of the total fund balance of about $2.5 million, where 57% is in general assistance and 43% is in the town fund. As I said, this is a healthy split, so each fund is properly supported by the fund balance for the fiscal years to come. The next page that we look to is, if you just flip over, it is page number 15. In the top left corner, it's titled Statement of Revenues, Expenditures, and Changes in Fund Balance, Governmental Funds, Modified Cash Basis. And what this page is providing or showing is the revenue and expenditures for the township as of 6/30/2022. One item to note is that in the total column in the row net change and fund balances, you will see that there was a net gain or net income of about $276,000. So this is a strong showing of the growth of the township to come. So moving on, if you go to the next few pages, page number 17, this will be titled in the top left corner, Notes to the Financial Statements, where the first paragraph will be titled Note 1, Summary of Significant Accounting Policies. So what these next pages will provide is essentially wording as to how we, as your auditors, came across the numbers that are in the financial statement and providing more background as to how we calculated those numbers. I will now move on to page number 39. And what I consider this section here is really a great showing of the township for the whole entire year. So I will give a few seconds to get there. All right, so what page 39 is showing is for the town fund, is essentially looking at the budgeted amounts compared to the actual amounts. And so we look at the final column, and what you can see is that for property taxes, there was a actual amount where more revenue was received in the town fund than expected, which can kind of help to show why there was a net gain for the fiscal year. So now, moving on, and Nicole, just to make sure, is the management letter packet included in the board packets that was sent?
It should have been.
We have a management letter and current recommendations, 2 pages.
Awesome. Perfect. So going to you can start on the current recommendation. So what the management letter provides is from our audit, we look at, is the township having the best practices? Is there anything with our expertise in governmental accounting? Is there anything that the township isn't doing that should be doing or that could help out? And based on our audit testing and looking through, our only recommendation, and this is more as a heads up for next year, is that GASB 96 will be coming out and will be implemented by township for the 6/30/2023. What we will do though is we will work with Danielle and Nicole to help the township implement this new GASB that was just released, and we'll also provide any literature or explanation as we receive them. And we also will provide training videos to kind of help Nicole and Danielle maneuver through this new GASB. So with that said, that is the end of my presentation. And if there are any questions, please let me know.
Mary Alice.
So thanks for the information, Nicole. Just so you know, we don't have any of the tables. So I'm not sure what page, I think it was 49 in the PDF. I'm not an accountant, so please excuse my question. There was budgeted and actual, I think it was page 49. I don't remember what it was talking about the property taxes that were received, the grant funds, et cetera. Did you see it?
Is that page 39?
It's page 39, sorry. So we have budgeted amounts, original, final, and actual amounts. So my question is, what does final mean?
So final is the budget that was approved, I believe, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, in September of 2022. It was the amended budget. And so we're required to provide original, which was the first budget that was approved, and then also use any amended budget numbers, which is then called the final column. And then the actual amounts are compared to the final column if there's kind of to help kind of paint the picture of why there was either a net gain or a net loss. And for the township, there was a net gain.
All right, so what I'm hearing you say is the original was the budget that we first passed in the fiscal year. The final is including any amendments to that budget, and the actual is the dollar figure.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Correct.
I don't
Yep,
remember us
exactly.
doing any amendments to the budget. Am I incorrect?
Yeah, we had to pass a replacement budget. I
Okay.
think it was in September,
Okay,
it was
All right.
in the fall.
thank you.
And it was because the balance of how things were being used was very different than what we expected. It was more balanced to begin with, but it was skewed. And so Danielle asked us to pass a replacement budget.
We had a lot of grants and grant expenditures that weren't on the original budget that we didn't realize, would be coming in and out. So we had to redo the budget to reflect that.
All right, sorry, thank you.
Just a request, I did check the packet that was sent to town board, and it does not include the actual audit document, so if we could get that sent to the town board members. That would be,
Diane,
yeah,
a point of clarity. It's linked in the email with the town board packet. And for those watching at home, it is publicly accessible on the Cunningham Township financial reports, where the previous year's audits are also located. But in the email to the town board, I indicated that we did not include it in the packets, and that was at the direction of the supervisor, because it is to be publicly posted prior to the meeting as well. But I did provide that link.
missed that. Thank you for the clarification. Grace.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks again for the presentation, all the work that went into this. It's great to hear that things are all in order and just a recommendation for improving even with new changes. I had a question about this page we're looking at and another with the idea of a remaining fund balance and a net increase said to be showing growth. And I guess I'm just wondering operationally when, how, or if we can use that fund balance for, say, like rental assistance or other services that are running out of funds.
So some of that is like a timing difference between when we get the grants and then when we spend the grants.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that is a timing difference between when we get grants and when we're able to spend the grants. So that's going to be part of it, which is why that's a big part of why the net income was there. So I don't think you have to worry about Danielle not spending money, because she is putting together a lot of different programs to serve Cunningham Township residents. But, when we get this large amount of grant income, it just kind of skews things, and there's always going to be timing differences.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. That's absolutely correct. And especially in the case of the state, there's a huge lag there as far as invoicing, receiving money. So some of them we get money before we spend it, and some of them we have to spend the money and we don't get the money back for like months and months. So just so you're all aware, it's definitely a timing thing.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
I just want to say the assessor's office will be happy to spend any money that is left over.
Thank you for the offer.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you, McCabe.
We'll move on. Unfinished business. I don't believe there is any. The next item on the agenda is a closed session to consider an appointment pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C1, and I will need a motion and a second to go into closed session.
Moved to go into closed session based on the parameters that the town board chair specified.
Second.
Moved by Mary Alice, seconded by Chris. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Hersey?
Yes.
Ms. Colacetti?
Yes.
Ms. Wilkin?
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry?
Yes.
Mayor Marlin?
Yes. For those watching at home, we will go into closed session. We'll return, and the meeting will continue. Okay, we'll need a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Mary Alice, seconded by Sharice. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, and that motion passes. Next item on the agenda, under new business. First item is assessor appointment for the term February 14th, 2023 through December 31st, 2025. As an introduction, we received one application. That's from Ivana Owana. Ms. Owana holds a certified Illinois assessing officer credential from the Illinois Property Assessment Institute. She's also been a resident of Urbana. Those are the two most important qualifications and credentials we need for this position, and she met the other credentials as well. She currently is serving as the Chief Deputy Assessor in the Cunningham Township Assessor's Office, and she's been with the office since February of 2019. She holds Bachelor of Science in Psychology and a Bachelor of Arts in African American Studies, both from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Speaks French in addition to English, has a number of other professional development and achievements in the field. So I will entertain a motion to appoint Ms. Ivana Owana as assessor for Cunningham Township.
I would like, I would like to move for the position of Township Assessor to be fulfilled and completed by Ivana Owana for the remainder of the term in the absence of Wayne Williams.
And that is a nomination for this
Nomination.
appointment. Okay.
Yes, for this appointment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Nominated by Sharice, seconded by Jaya. Discussion. I think Wayne Williams had wanted to say something.
I hired Ivana as an intern in February of 2019, and I remember when she
Speak a little louder into your
I
microphone.
remember when she came for that job interview. She was like most people that come in contact with government, a little intimidated and no idea what property taxes do or mean or how they work. In the 4 years she's been in my office, I have seen her go head first into doing everything it takes so she could be here today. I intended, when I ran in 2017, if you would have asked me in 2017, I intended to be here for a very long time. But sometimes life gives you some detours, and that happened to me. I was given a great opportunity. I was given a great opportunity to be the Chief Administrative Officer for the Cook County Assessor. And it's not an opportunity I said yes to right away because, you know, I felt like I made a commitment to the people of Cunningham Township. So it was very tough for me to leave, very tough. Like I said, what made it easier is that Ivana was here to take over. And when the opportunity first came for me, I asked Ivana kind of jokingly, if I were to get hit by a bus, would you be willing to be the next assessor? And she said, absolutely not. My opportunity became more and more like it was going to become a thing, I kept asking her, hey, if something happened, you want to be assessor? And again, she didn't say, she said no. Finally, I told her, hey, I'm going to be leaving. Do you want to take over? And again, she said no. And the reason I bring that up is because this position is not something to take lightly. It's a very difficult position to have. It's rewarding, it's fun, but it's not easy. So I told her, look, I'm probably going to go. You need to think about this. And she thought about it. She reflected on it. And eventually, I told her to go and ask some of our professional colleagues. What she didn't know is I had talked to them beforehand and told them that she'd be calling. And they all said, go for it. They all told her, go for it. There's a reason why she has the letters of recommendations that she has from other assessors, former colleagues, the soon-to-be president of the IAAO. There's a reason she has recommendations from that caliber of people, and it's because Ivana is very impressive. Ivana, if appointed, which I expect her to be, is going to be very different from most of the assessors in this state and in this country, and that is a good thing. It's frankly reflective of the values that that Urbana reflects, but more importantly, it's reflective that she's ready for this and will do a good job. This is bittersweet for me because I've seen Ivana grow to get here. A lot of people call this the accidental profession, and it's kind of a joke in our industry that this is the accidental profession. And it can't be more accidental than someone being ready to step up with a degree in African American studies and psychology, because that really prepares you for this. And it does actually. But just you wouldn't think about it. But it was a series of fortunate accidents that got Ivana to where we are today. So I will continue to be a resource to her and the township because I want to see her succeed. I know she will. There are a lot of assessors across this state and even across this country that are looking forward to seeing her succeed. So with that, I don't have anything else to say, but congratulations, Ivana.
Thank you. Any other comments? Grace.
Thanks. Just a quick thank you to Wayne for the work you've done in making more equitable work in our assessment office and leaving us set up and recruiting great people to leave behind. I really appreciate that. And Ivana, I really thank you and appreciate for being willing to take on this challenging role. I really appreciate your motivations and passions and unique perspectives, and I look forward to working together with Town Board with this new assessor. So thank you again.
Jail.
Yeah, I'd like to echo thanks to Wayne and excitement for Ivana joining us. I think it would be easy to feel like settling, right? Like when you don't have a lot of options, and that's not how I feel at all. I feel like Cunningham Township, I think that the city of Urbana is in very good hands. And I think we're positioned to be a leader, continue to be a leader, in terms of thinking about what does it mean to do equitable, empowerment-based, social justice-oriented assessment. So very excited for this appointment tonight.
I will just say, Wayne, I'm glad you were not hit by a bus. I'm grateful that you have this opportunity in Chicago. Thank you for your service over the past 5 years. I've enjoyed working for you, and anytime you call, it's always been interesting conversation. And I also appreciate the fact that you have prepared people in your office, including Ivana, to step up and take on the next opportunity that's presented. So thank you for planning ahead, and Ivana, welcome. Although this, I suppose it's a little premature until the vote is taken, but let's just call the roll, please.
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Hersey?
Yes.
Ms. Colacetti?
Yes.
Ms. Wilkin?
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry?
Yes.
That motion passes. Congratulations to the new assessor of Cunningham Township. And the city clerk will be swearing you in. All right, move on to resolution number T 2023-02-011R, which is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with the city of Urbana for Housing and Homelessness Innovation Grant.
So just for clarification, so I do believe this was already passed by the city of Urbana, but with the HHI grant, so this is to cover staff time and case management, extend our homeless services, and include more wraparound services with our participants. So that is the main focus for these HHI grants.
Any questions? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
All right, I will move resolution number T 2023-02-001R, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with the city of Urbana for Housing and Homelessness Innovation Grant.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Mary Alice, seconded by Sharice. Discussion. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Hersey?
Yes.
Ms. Colacetti?
Yes.
Ms. Wilkin?
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry?
Yes.
That motion passes. Next up is resolution number T 2023-02-002R, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign a subrecipient agreement, grant agreement with the city of Champaign for the purchase of an outreach vehicle for the HHI grant.
Again, just fairly simple. This is to help us with our street outreach efforts and getting and transporting both participants and their belongings when they are moving as well. They would help our efforts.
Mary Alice.
I had a quick question. So since the amount is $40,106, it's a very specific amount. I assume that you have a specific vehicle already picked out and ready to purchase?
So we're in the process of still shopping. We have narrowed it down to about 3 vehicles that we're looking at, and we're hoping that we've had some sickness in our office, but our street outreach team is gonna physically go out and see the cars now.
But it's within this range?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I don't know how you came
No,
up
no,
with
no,
106.
absolutely within the range.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll give a motion.
All righty.
All right, I move approval of resolution number T 2023-02002R, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign a subrecipient grant agreement with the city of Champaign for the purchase of an outreach vehicle with the Housing and Homelessness Innovation Grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Mary Alice, seconded by Jaya. Further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Hersey?
Yes.
Ms. Colacetti?
Yes.
Ms. Wilkin?
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry?
Yes.
That motion passes. Last item on the agenda is resolution number T 2023-02-003R, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with Proprio for on-demand translation services.
So yes, we were shopping around for translation and interpretation services. Proprio was the service we located with the least amount of fees. So there's no activation fees. There's no monthly fees aside from just what comes with the usage. And on average, the languages were about 80 cents cheaper, and it includes also American Sign Language, which on average was about $1 cheaper with Proprio. And so this is who we decided to move forward with.
Any questions? Mary Alice.
Do you have an estimate of the number of people that you work with that would be able to utilize this service?
Yeah, I would say in 1 month, I would say anywhere between 5 to 12 folks.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Grace.
Thanks. I was wondering if you could just give us a little more context too, as using this kind of service versus having people in the office who are bilingual or interns or anything like that. If you just give us a little more context of going this option.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely do still have some staff in office that are dual language. We've had interns. The issue with interns is they come and go, so it's not, we don't always have it on hand. I am one of the only folks in the office that speaks Spanish, and being the program director, my time is very limited in being able to provide direct services and direct translations when we are in office. So this is just to help close that gap when we're having folks coming and speaking Spanish, French, needing an ASL interpreter. And so this allows us to go ahead and call or also video phone in for services.
Thank you.
Sharice.
Is Spanish and French the main, and ASL the main languages that you have to have interpret? Because I was thinking that there are so many other immigrants that are flowing through, China, Ukrainian. I was wondering if this particular translation service offers those translation services as well, if you need them.
Yeah, so the Spanish, French, and the ASL is what we imagine will be our top 3 needs, or what we've seen as our top 3 needs. However, Proprio does have an expansive list of languages, and they actually include languages that not very many people speak in the world anymore. So they are very well equipped, and connection for let's say for Spanish will average anywhere between 2 to 7 minutes. Connection for those other languages that are more unknown or may need, where less people know the language, it may increase the connection, the time that's needed, but still able to receive a service, yes.
Any other questions?
I'll
Need
make
a motion?
Yep. I'm going to make the last motion. All right. Resolution number T 2023-02003R, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with Proporio for on-demand translation services for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Mary Alice, seconded by Jaya. Further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Hersey?
Yes.
Ms. Colacetti?
Yes.
Ms. Wilkin?
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry?
Yes.
That motion passes. With no further business before the Cunningham Town Board, the meeting is adjourned, and we'll start immediately with the city council meeting as soon as the clerk gives us the sign. Thank you very much. Congratulations again. Thank you, Nicole, on the phone.
Thank you.